Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like and comment on my video and consider subscribing to my channel. Now, for some of you players who are out there who are not going to enjoy this video will include a ton of criticism towards NetEase. If you do not want to hear the criticism on their updates and following through of their test of failure server adjustments into the game, you may want to back off this video at this moment because I will be going in depth into their failures and seeing how they have changed. Now, normally I read the changes, however, there are three sets of changes, and just reading this would take me 10 minutes on its own. So, I am not going to be reading all of this patch notes. I am just going to go over a basis of what they have done. They have implemented the weapon changes with this update. They have implemented a full out adjustment to the enemies, and our AI enemies have had a massive increase to their difficulty starting from today. It has been implemented without any testing, any asking of the community, because they knew the community will say no to it. They were hoping that this increase in difficulty will generate them more profit. However, I am suspecting it's going to generate them a massive failure in the game, where a vast majority of the players are going to exit the game in the next few weeks. Now, my estimate on the current crowd in the game is around 200,000 players, and my estimate on the number of active high-end players is about 20,000 players. So basically what they have done with this last patch is they have introduced a lot of adjustments to problems that they had with their current ships and so forth. So they have changed it up for the new electronic warfare weapons that we have received. And the fact that the electronic warfare has now been added to regular anomalies means that we will be seeing the effects of these weapons against us in ships. Now, how bad are they going to affect us? Well, anybody who farms under T7, T8, T9, and T10 will only experience a 30% effectiveness of the weapons. However, anybody in those high-end brackets doing high-end gameplay will experience 80% effectiveness of electronic warfare and 100% respectively. So those are in the highest level gameplay. You should expect to see this as the difficulty level of the game. Now, increasing the difficulty and including rewards into transportation missions is something that they did. Now, let's look at everything and discuss exactly where they have gone with the whole plot of the mission. So they are trying to push players to be more diverse in how they're playing the game. They are trying to take away players from the PvE aspect of the game and trying to force them to play a more wider aspect in terms of doing more transport with your PvE and focusing more on mining. That's because a lot of PvE players have found ways to quadruple the amount of return from their PvE activities, taking on a T9 anomaly and making 3 times the figure in raw resources that you can of, for example, mining. That is the effectiveness that players have been having of just doing the T8, T9, and T10 anomalies. So they did this here purposefully to take off from that aspect. Now, the increase in difficulty of the E-War is absolutely unfair. 80% is beyond the ability of any player to reach. You cannot even reach it with the expert maximum unless they have adjusted the skills to such a point that you now will have an expert skill for your E-War that improves your range by 100% with the effectiveness of your weapons at 100%. However, I don't think that has happened, so it's really a one-sided affair where they are making it more difficult to complete PvE activities. 10-man fleets will be struggling in these activities now with the introduction of their ability to repair and heal each other in the sense of them using group sharing and group healing abilities. So expect the logistic ships to be way more tough than they previously have been. Now, moving on from this, there is so much to discuss in how bad this is for the gameplay. It is going to improve the amount of people purchasing Plex. Yes, that is the bottom line for the game developers, NetEase and CCP. So that is what they are after. Undoubtedly, they're after more profit. There were many ways in which they could have improved this, and I'm just going to discuss it over this patch notes. Now, I am going to look at the patch notes in the background, and I'm really upset with it. They've introduced a ton of bonuses and adjustments arbitrarily before any testing was done on them. They didn't allow players to run a test on it like they could in a proper test server. This was just based on what they wanted to do to basically raise the amount of profit they could make in game. Now, let's talk about everything else that they're going to introduce. They're going to be introducing a bug tracking report, so you could track bugs that are affecting you in the game. Now, beyond all of this, something else for you to look at is going to be within the changes they have made uh, to certain structures in the game, like Capsulia Outposts. You now can collect your daily rewards in a Capsulia Outpost, making it much easier for some players to do this. Okay, let me just read through the notes in a fast format. I'm going to skip over a lot of the content that is described within them. So let's just do that there. I did criticize them right in the start. Change of bonus equipment. Because the new equipment does not include weapon disruptors and electronic jammers, these two bonuses have been replaced by tracking disruptors and guiding disruptors. Ships evolved in the list below. The change of skill bonuses. Because 3 new skills including signal jamming technology has been added, the bonus skills of jamming ships has been changed. The ships involved are in the list below. Reduce the interference range bonus. Because the range of interference equipment is very far, the range bonus of some frigates has been removed, and the best range bonus of some battleships has been reduced. The list of changes down below. Reduce the interference intensity bonus. Reduce the duration buff of lock delay side effect of some advanced covert ops ships after the stealth is released, and reduce the jammer strength bonus of some battleships. List is down below. Damage or range adjustments as in the list of the ships down below. HP and resistant adjustments. The HP of T6 to T10 ships increased by as shown respectively, and so forth, moving through all ships. The default shield explosion resistance has been reduced. Okay, there's a whole lot of adjustments in there. I'm not going to go through them all individually. IC frigate adjustment. Because Warp Scrambler Professional Interceptor frigates will play their role due to their due role. Therefore, the Stasis Weber fire of optimal range on all 8 interceptor frigates has been removed. Okay, those are some of them. Weapon adjustments. As said before, plus some new adjustments have been added. Encounter mission changes where they are really hurting the player base. Well done to NetEase. Rebalanced reward bonuses. As they had said, they are really intending to hurt the general PvE player base. Well done to NetEase once more. Rebalanced storyline missions. Well done against the NetEase for including extra waves to take it longer for us to complete missions. Module boxes at the end of transport. Well done for making it seem like they're giving us something. And there's the big negative. They increased the volume so you can't run it in regular ships. Raise upper limit of number of commercially prosperous system. There you go. They're increasing the number of players who can enter into those sectors. Although it doesn't make a difference at this point. I haven't run into a stop at JITA in a number of weeks. So yeah, there is something else. So basically, this entire patch is for NetEase and not for the player base. They're trying to improve their profit margins, and they're saying to hell with the player base. You will obey, and we don't care what you have to say. Because they did allow us to test this, they received massive negative criticism, and they're still going ahead with it. It shows that they really don't care what the player base has to say. I hope that they do succeed in a lot of the things that they're trying to do with improvement of gameplay. Yes, improving the difficulty of the anomalies is something that should have happened, but improving it to this length and extent, reducing the durability of our ships that are in the highest level for the T7 players to force us to jump to T8 battleships was really a nasty activity from the gameplay. That was really uncalled for, wasn't necessary, and it is going to make a massive difference to how the game is played. a change like that should have been announced 6 weeks in advance to let them have it out with the community, just to see how badly the community complained about their 4.4% reduction in our battle cruisers that they have now impacted directly with their changes. The 4.4% is greater than all of the bonuses that we're going to be having on our ships. So basically, they're reducing your ability to survive in activities. They want you to lose ships more frequently. It's their way of saying that there without directly telling us that they want us to lose more ships and spend more in the game, forcing us to buy more plaques. That is all that this was about. I am being really sour about what I have read. That is because I know exactly how it's going to interfere with the gameplay and the audience of the game. Hardcore EVE Online players may stay in the game, but most of the casual players are going to get out of the game because they're going to feel the drag of this game getting a bit too long. Anything that is dragged out and pushed for too long of a period generally pushes away casual players. So, yeah, we can hope that it isn't going to hurt the player base in such a way, but it most probably will be. Any player who takes on regular missions when there's combat involved, when you're facing off against combat and it takes 3 to 6 hours to complete it, know that the players are going to take 5 to 6 days to do it. And when they only receive a 10 million reward from their activity, you can expect players to be very upset with the activity. So that's basically what NetEase has forced upon the player base. I hope that this doesn't affect the player base like I'm expecting it to, but let's see what happens in the future. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.